This is heavy metal. This is heavy metal. Boy, it's crunch time. Time to lock and load. Lock and load. I'm a rock star. I can rock and roll. I can rock and roll.
What's going on, people? It's TKO from www.TheMVPLounge.sportsblog.com. And today, I got somebody big on the phone, somebody I'm about to do a first Q&A with. He's a former three-time WCW champion of the world, the man himself, Diamond Dallas Page. How you doing today? How you doing today, DDP?
Unstoppable, as usual. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, I mean, first we're gonna start off, of course, ask you questions. The major question that I know you get a lot. Why did you get in pro wrestling? Why did you get involved in pro wrestling?
I love it. I was a kid. I was a fan. And when I was little, I always dreamed of doing that. And then I got out of it and started playing sports. And then when I was about 17, I got pulled back in. And I just started watching. I thought, man, I want to do that. And everybody laughed at me. And I actually tried it when I was like 22. It didn't work out for me. And then I started running nightclubs. And it was all about the booze to broad party to me.
So that was true. So it was true what I read. I read up about that. I think it was called, you had a pink Cadillac back then when you used to run nightclubs. Is that true?
Yeah, 62 pink Cadillac convertible, Misha Harley. I was not a Dallas Page back in those days, just, living it up and having a good time. So running the hottest nightclubs, and at 31, I was watching a Cindy Lauper video that had a little panel with it, and I was like, man, I should have been part of that whole rock and wrestling thing. I thought it pretty much passed me by, and out of that night came the name Diamond Dallas Page, and the Diamond Exchange, and the BADD band, and a lot of the things that later, it was just me talking shit. That's pretty much it, drinking and talking loud, being proud and drawing the crowd time back to my boys in the back. And someone had mentioned that when I was doing an interview for a local cable network, and they were called the Party News Network, and I threw on a pair of sunglasses and said, I'm Dallas Page. I was born to be a professional wrestling manager. And I just thought I was kidding around. Somebody on a radio station heard it, thought when the Party News Network had asked me to come on and be a character on his radio show. Oh, so you started. Captain Lou Albano was going to be on, so the captain, I was a big fan of his, so I figured, sure, I'll do it. I did it again with Sergeant Slaughter, and after the hell of it, I just made a demo tape, I sent it to the AWA, and now owned by WWE. But back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, the AWA was huge. And all from Minnesota, Chicago, up in the Midwest, upper Midwest area. And I sent them a videotape, and they brought me in as a manager. I thought I was too old to wrestle them when I was 32.
Oh, wow.
And I worked a lot of different independents and Florida Championship Wrestling with Dusty Rhodes, when he came in to run the territory, and Gordon Soley. And I always saw myself as like a Michael P.S. Hades type of wrestler, the manager, mouthpiece, and to get in the ring and take some bumps. But Dusty said, no, baby, off the mountain. I can manage it. They'll mess with it. If anything, I can do it.
You sound just like it.
WCW, he brought me in as a manager within less than 6 months, 5 months. They said, dude, you can't let you do something more between the wrap, hair, clothes, broad, no one's paying attention to the wrestler. I was like, hell with this. I got 7 months left of my contract. I'm going to go down to the power plant and learn how to wrestle. That's how it started.
Wow. So it is exactly how I read up on him. Wow, that's amazing. First you start off as a manager, then next you became. And now is it true? I looked at your recent video, Wrestling Wednesday. You talk about Michael Hayes, where he couldn't believe when you said you go into the power plant and you're going to become a wrestler.
Well, he fell down, man.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Who knew?
I don't know if I included this on that Wrestling Wednesdays, but in 1995, called me 5, we had a hell of a match, and he was calling to leave me a message, and when I picked up the phone, he was talking to the message machine. He like, damn, motherfucker, son of a bitch, what's the matter? Like, because you know when you call some people and you don't want them to answer, so leave a message. So we want me to hang up, so you leave a message. He's like, no, son of a bitch. I might as well tell you, tell you right now. He said, never had he been so happy to eat crow. And he was to see me in that match. He said, everybody, has been blown away by your progress. You got some fans up here that doesn't get you. So, that was a huge day. Michael and I were good buddies. And, he had no idea how hard I'd been working those last 4 years. And he got to see it on Nitro. Me and Sting. And,
which was amazing. I remember that match. That was an amazing match. I mean, tore the house down.
You're going with the 99. I'm talking about 195.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The 99 in that match was, I could tear it down with anybody. Like me and Sting had an awesome chemistry together, and we worked together. And it's funny because the match you're talking about, at one point, they're telling us to go home.
Yeah, that was.
Matchup, you don't have much time. And we were in the middle of that. And Simon, change plan. 5 more minutes. What? He goes, 5 more minutes. So I grabbed Sting and threw him to the floor. He thought I was taking advantage of him.
Yep.
He was so mad. And at one point, I started choking him on the railing. On that match, I go, dude, we got 5 more minutes. And I chopped the hell out of him.
Oh, shit.
And, we kept going. But that was, I think, one of my best matches. I lost that match.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best matches I've ever had.
That's the match where I bet he ended the match with the Stinger Death Drop. And he hit
right.
Yeah.
And I lost the world title, and later on in the show, in the last quarter, I won it back. No one has ever done that. No one will ever do that again. No one will ever do it first anyway, lose the world title and win it back at the same
night. No, never been done before, never will ever be duplicated. That's the original.
Yeah.
Definitely. What in your career? How I'm gonna put this question? Which out of all your 3 title reigns, which one was the most memorable for you?
I think it's getting the world title the first time.
Okay.
Because that match had Sting in it. It was a 4-corner. It had Hogan in it. And it had Flair in it. Unquestionably, maybe 3 of the top 10 biggest superstars. Well, maybe 3 of the top 5. You got to put Rock in there. You got to put Steve in there. Undertaker, maybe Civil Rights. That top 10 is really, guys, top 5. It's really tough to pick a real top 5. But for me to have, I think Sting got to be up there in that top 5. I know Hogan is. I know Flair is.
Definitely.
For me to be in that group of guys starting wrestling at 35 years old, starting the journey of actually learning in the ring, and to know that, Ric Flair going to take the diamond cutter in the middle of the ring.
That's
really, I should have won the world title against Goldberg a year earlier. That would have been even better.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't bitching. When it happened, it happened. If it happened, and there's a lot of guys that never happened before. And there's guys that should have been world champions like Scott Hall, Jake Roberts.
Oh yeah, definitely Scott.
DiBiase.
Yes.
Those are the 3 names that come to mind immediately. Because they could talk, they had charisma, they could work, and they were all believable as hell. Being the good guys who actually have won that world title is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that list is the exact same way I would put it too. Because I mean, one person that definitely comes to mind. Because of course, I'm a '90s kid. I grew up in the '90s. I'm only 20 and a half, so it's definitely Scott Hall. Because I remember him, and of course, flipping back and forth to Nitro and the WWF, and I remember the whole thing. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the Outsiders, and then later on, later in the career, you and Kev were formed Insiders, which is cool. And matter of fact, I want to get to that question right. How was it like tag teaming with Kev, Big Kevin Nash, aka Big D?
Oh, I don't know if you know, we started in '91 as a tag team. We were called the Vegas Connection.
Oh, I wouldn't know that. Wow.
And nobody even knew. No one thought either one of us would be shit. They would never. No one thought either one of us would ever make it. So later on, when we both did, it was really gratifying and to work up together. Really, Scott. Kev's only real tag team partner I remember is Scott. But Scott was out. Having those struggles. It worked for me because me and Scotty, I managed Scott Hall. I created that whole look for him.
Oh, wow.
He used to have long blonde hair and a big walrus mustache. That was his look.
Uh-huh.
And when he was trying to get me to WCW and I was about to get the Freebird, he called me up and he said, "Hey, Dally, you look like Andre the Giant managing those tiny Freebirds." He said, "You wouldn't look like such a giant next to 6'6", 295 pounds, twisted steel and steel." And I said, I called up, they bring you in again. They were like, "He's already been here twice, he didn't get over, so no." And I said, "What we need to do is completely change your look." And he's like, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "Well, I'm not the only one who's got black hair. He was like a guy that hair jet black." Later on that night, I came up with the idea of shaving the mustache and doing that brush cut beard, thing that he would do. And he don't even recognize it at all. It was crazy. All you did was change a guy's hair color, get rid of the mustache, and grow it, brush cut beard. No one ever seen that look before. And I dressed him in like players, like clothes, and he thought I was ribbing with it. Don't take the jacket off. And I walked him in there. No one at center stage. That's what WCW used to do the Saturday night 6:05 show. And no one recognized him at all. He was sort of freaking him out. It worked, obviously.
Oh yeah, it took off to a whole nother level. I mean, the bad guy. I mean, definitely Razor Ramon and all that. I mean, that definitely did it.
Yeah.
So, and what? I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. Because without you, I mean, you would have never took them to that whole next level. Definitely, I definitely agree with that. I mean, and I have another question. I mean, I've been wanting to ask. I mean, in my opinion, I believe us fans, me growing up in the '90s, I believe we're more, we have more knowledge about pro wrestling than we did back in the '90s. Even some fans back in the '80s, how things go on backstage, like we find out when people get released, because a lot of times, I mean, you'd never known back then that, they got released. You would hear like on TV, that he got suspended, or his contract has been terminated, because the storyline, a storyline will come up. But nowadays, it's publicized, like on websites saying, so and so couldn't come up with a contract agreement, so he was, he left the company and so forth like that. So would you say the fans are like this era of wrestling are more, they're more intelligent about pro wrestling than,
I would say intelligent, I think they're smart enough to use the internet.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't say they're any more intelligent. They're just not. They're just, they're on the inside more than ever, and that's what's really fascinating when you think about, they really are on the inside and know pretty much most, not all of it, a lot of it, they're still pulled in. When you got, like the real fighting where guys are really trying to knock each other out, and UFC, it's doing really well. You think maybe would, take away from the wrestling fans, but it really doesn't. It's pretty amazing. It's sort of like people want to believe with our little kid, they want to believe in Santa Claus. And they want to believe our politicians will really help them. Wrestlers being way realer than politicians. Because they're so full of shit. So, when wrestling, I think I see wrestling's the only real sport in the world because we tell you what we feel. Wrestlers trying to make you think it's something that's not.
In your career, what would you say will be who did you have like inside the ring the most connection with? Like y'all would just vibe. Who did you have like the greatest vibe with in the ring?
Without question, Randy Savage. Yeah, because we both took our work ethic to a different level, and that was the feud that made me. You know, he was out of nowhere in that first match we had. People were shocked. They blew the roof off, and you know, we had a great feud all the way to the end. And you really look at the first time we met at the Spring Stampede in April of 1997. 2 years later, in the same pay-per-view, Spring Stampede, Randy Savage would end up being the guest referee in that four-corner match where he would hand me the world title. So, that was pretty cool all the way around. It was an amazing ride. You know, it was a great ride.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Macho Man is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, growing up in the 90s, I remember the Slim Jim commercial. Snap it to a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah. I mean, even to this day, I turn around and do that. You know, I sit there, I just think about that every time I go to the store and see a Slim Jim. Macho Man is definitely missed. And I hope he get inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. I mean, it's a rumor. I hope it's true.
He was inducted a long time ago, but he really didn't want to be.
What? He didn't? You know who else did that? I heard Kevin Nash said he didn't want to get inducted. He's another person. And then
I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
I really don't believe that one. Maybe no, it was you know, there's a reason why he wasn't around. You know, I think they were just thinking about, you know, right before he passed. But we'll never know now. But I think they would have eventually, because Brady was that wishes. You know, there's another guy, top 5 of all time. Who you put in that? You know, I know I'm not in the top 5 of all time. You know, no one looked there. You take what I did, but you know, and how I did it, at the years I did it, I would be up, you know, top. But when it comes to guys who had the long careers and were able to stay on top throughout the career, like an Undertaker, like Randy Savage, like a Hulk Hogan, you know, they did it for years. Shawn Michaels, there's another one. You know, I mean,
the Heartbreaker.
Great runs. It's tough to really find a top 5. I would love to see people argue about that online.
Yeah, the top man.
One of the top 5. You know, the other guy, Jake Roberts, you know, up there. You know, only because of his demons and you know, Roddy Piper.
Yep.
You know, there's so many great guys. Jake Roberts and Roddy Piper proposed. Roddy's about to start to him by DDP Yoga, and Jake started 3 weeks ago.
What? He did?
He started doing my program, man.
Oh, man.
DDP Yoga.
Definitely, if you guys have not checked out DDP Yoga, you definitely have to check it out. Go to www.ddpyoga.com, right? Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Awesome. I'm going to get Jake up there pretty soon, because he was filming it.
How is Jake? How is he? Is he doing good?
Doing much better.
Okay, thank goodness.
That's the key. Doing much better.
Exactly.
Day by day, he gets stronger. Body gets a little less beat up. That's what my body. DDP Yoga is all about not use, along with taking the athlete who's already a great athlete, making him better.
I'm gonna say this.
Stronger.
DDP, you found the fountain of youth with DDP Yoga. It's definitely got to be the fountain of youth, because when you made your return back in the ring, you hit Heath Slater with the diamond cutter. I mean, it looked like you haven't been gone for the ring from years. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
You definitely found the fountain.
I still got a couple matches left in me.
Oh.
But I'd just not do them and stay healthy.
and that's the smarter way, because longevity. That's the smartest way to do it. Longevity. Well, thank you for the time.
Okay, cool. I was going to say you got one more question.
Oh, yeah.
You're already tapping out.
Oh, yeah.
You got one more question?
Yeah, definitely. I got one more question. Okay. What is now? Hold on. How am I gonna put this question? Guys, I got so many questions running through my head at once. How was the reaction like? Oh, personally, how did you feel about the whole WWF buying WCW thing? How did you feel about that acquisition?
For me personally, I knew I was always going to end in the WWE. You know, back in the WWF, I always knew my career was going to end there. So it really wasn't to stay all the guys who had all their stuff there, because that was turning into money for years. All the people who had jobs, like regular jobs, like the guys who were the camera guys and the writers, the directors. There were so many guys who lost their jobs that would never be involved in wrestling again. And we had done it for over 25 years. So I felt really bad for them.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for the WCW fan because many of those fans, they just stopped watching.
Yep, because a lot of those fans, they preferred WCW. They did not like, WWF.
Yeah.
That's why you had the faithful and that. Go ahead.
And vice versa. There was many WWF fans just did not like WCW.
This is
And
true.
there was always the fan who would go back and forth and change the channels in the Monday Night Wars.
I was one of them.
It was really the Monday Night Wars that made it available. Pepsi and Coke. But some of them never even know who was who. And but for me personally, I never really thought like, wow, oh my God, I'm screwed. I knew I had a life, somewhere else. And I didn't like the way they handled me up there, but it was also had to do with WCW, and they had to prove who was the bigger, who was the better of the two. I became that face on that spot. I'm not exactly where I would have liked to be, but it was what it was. And now I did the very best of Nitro. I guess if you did it a year and a half ago, got a great response.
Excellent DVD. If you guys haven't checked out the best of Nitro, you have to. It's a must-see DVD. I got it, and man, it just brings back good memories.
Now we're going to do the best of Nitro 2, and the problem with that is a lot of the stuff that they used already, they don't want to duplicate it. So we got to come up with, they just sent me a bunch of matches and stuff, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but we're gonna get that done by the end of this year, and hopefully get it released the first one of next year. So there's definitely some more stuff there for WCW fan to come back and see, but not just that, but the new WWE fan, and that's the way to keep yourself, having a longevity is having that. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Exactly. You got to educate the youth, because that's how I did. I'm being educated by you and things I didn't know. Me watching during the 90s, didn't know certain aspects, because especially the mattress thing, I didn't know that happened. Of course, none of the fans know it happened, because that's just how good you guys were. That's just how good you are. That's the thing about pro wrestling. I love it. I discovered, a lot of people, the first thing they look at is football, basketball. My first love was professional wrestling. Then came football. Then came basketball. So, I was I was going back and forth during the Monday Night Wars. I had to check out, make sure, self high five. Had to look out for you to hit the diamond cutter. Had to look out for Goldberg, Hogan, Nash, all of them. Then WWF, of course, The Rock, Stone Cold. And growing up in the 90s was the best of both worlds. That's why I think a lot of fans are missing out on, in this generation, because back then you had an option. Now it's not too many more options left. It's not too many options left.
I can't. Good talking to you.
Oh, thank you, DDP. Definitely.
It's your pleasure.
Oh, it's definitely been my pleasure. It's an honor to interview you, and I hope one day maybe I get to interview you again and sit down face to face with you instead of being on the phone with you. Because I definitely enjoyed talking to you, having my questions answered, and I know a lot of questions that a lot of people wanted to get answered. Now they finally got the answers too. And thank you for joining me. And make sure you check out www.ddpyoga.com. I got it right? Okay, www.ddpyoga.com, and of course www.TheMVPLounge.sportsblog.com. TKO and DDP signing out. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang.
Yo, it's me, it's DDP. Yo, it's the master of the diamond cutter.